A very good morning to all. Today we are going to see the last part of this fourth chapter, that is safety management. And in the previous lecture we have seen the concept of fire hazard, fire drill and work permit. So now we will start with the last point, that is general safety norms for an industrial unit. So we are going to see a number of safety norms in this point. So the first point is use of PPE, which is nothing but personal protective equipment. Now just refer to this figure which is shown in this slide, and by looking at that worker you can observe that what all safety norms he is following. So we are going to see all those safety parameters one by one. You should also know what is the actual meaning of PPE, that is personal protective equipment. So PPE is anything that is used to protect the human body and the human body parts such as eyes, face, ears, head and many other parts. These personal protective equipments play a very important role, and thus it is necessary that they are available in sufficient quantities and also in good working condition in any industry. Now if we first talk about the head protection, then you can look at the figure. For head protection, that worker is wearing a helmet. So there should be use of appropriate head protection when the worker is exposed to overhead hazards or from electrical shock, burn hazards, impact hazards and penetration hazards. So head protection is required when the worker is exposed to certain kind of objects which are falling from above. So this was for head safety. Then the next point is eye and face protection. So each employee shall use eye or face protection when he is exposed to eye or face hazards from flying particles or molten metal, then again liquid chemicals or acids and gas vapors. Thus, while working in certain areas related to this, eye and face protection is very important. Then the next point is hearing protection. If the employees are exposed to noise levels which are usually greater than 85 decibels for an extended period, then it becomes necessary to use the hearing protection, because if such kind of hearing protection is not used, then the worker may seem to have problems in future related with hearing. So again, for working in areas having noise levels greater than 85 decibels for a longer period, hearing protection is must. The next point is hand and foot protection. You can observe in the figure that the worker is wearing gloves for hand protection and an appropriate shoes for foot protection. So each employee should use appropriate hand and foot protection when he is working or exposed to injury from potential skin absorption hazards or chemical thermal burns, as well as electrical dangers or cuts, fractures, etc. So these gloves can also protect the worker from electric shocks, and also if he is working in area where there are sharp objects and there is possibility of getting some kind of harm to his feet. So thus such kind of hand and foot protection are necessary. So all these points were related with the use of personal protective equipments. Now the next point is lockout of energy sources. So first you should know what is the actual meaning of lockout. So it is a safety procedure which is used in industry to ensure that dangerous machines which are available in the industry, those are properly shut off and they are not able to be started again without completion of the maintenance or repair work. Also, the power sources to such machines are locked out by that worker and a tag is placed on such machines so that the other workers can determine that there is something wrong with this machine, and due to the tag, it is also possible to know that which worker has been working on that machine and what are the problems related with that machine. So this will prevent the accidental startup of such machines while it is in a hazardous state or while a worker is in direct contact with it. So this is basically for the safety of that worker. So you should remember this point regarding lockout of energy sources. Now the next point is hand tool and portable power as well as tool safety. So in this, all persons should use personal protective equipment while he is using any kind of tool. The worker should also check for working safety guards, then again shields, working labels, etc. And he should be able to use the right tool for the right job. Then again, while working on an electrical equipment, the worker should ensure that all the metal hand tools are well insulated. And the most important thing is that the worker should never use compressed air to remove the dust and debris from his clothing. So many times in industry, we see that often the accidents are happening due to this reason. They are using the compressed air on their clothes in order to remove any kind of dust or dirt. So this should be avoided. The next general safety norms are generally related with clothing. So all employees will wear all required safety gear, safety glasses, and safety clothing for their job or position while at their workstation. So the protective clothing shall be worn by those persons who are exposed to hazards such as solid and liquid chemicals or high as well as low temperatures, open flames, and large amount of ultraviolet rays. It is very important that depending on what kind of work the worker has to perform, he should have a proper clothing. So for example, if we consider that the person is going to perform certain activity where there are open flames, then for safety purpose, the worker should not wear such clothes which will easily catch fire. So according to their work, proper clothing is necessary. Another example I would like to mention here that if the worker is working in a particular area where he is exposed to moving or rotating equipment, then in such case it is necessary that the worker is wearing clothes which are tightly or it has a very good fitting. If at such places the worker is wearing loose clothing, then there are chances that accidents are going to be definitely happen. Either the shirt will get stuck in and it can cause a certain accident. Along with this, it is also important that the long sleeves must be buttoned. Then again, jewelry should be not worn while operating on industrial equipments. So all these are related with the clothing of that worker while performing an activity. The next point is all employees while working around moving machinery are prohibited from wearing loose clothing or loose jewelry. So this was the point that I just mentioned now. The next point, all equipment, tools and machinery are to be kept clean and in full working condition, with any defects being immediately reported to maintenance. So this is again one of the general safety norms. So all the tools which are required for performing any activity as well as the machines which are available, those should be kept clean and in full working conditions. And if there are any problems with the working of such kind of machines or tools, then immediately those should be reported to the supervisor so that he can take the necessary action. Now let's see the next safety norms. All employees working around moving machinery must have long hair tied back where it cannot fall forward or be caught in the machinery. So this safety norm is generally for the women who are working in the industry. Then the next safety norm is all tools will be in use or will be stored at their proper location at all times. No tools are to be left in any location where they are not being used or being stored. So this point we can say it is related with proper housekeeping of the tools which are supposed to be used while carrying out or doing work on that particular job. So proper location which is already decided, all the tools after making use of such tools, those are to be placed back at their original position. The next safety norm is all work areas are to be kept properly lit when anyone is working. So there should be proper lighting in the area where the workers are performing the activity. So with proper lighting, the worker can perform their function well and good. The next safety norm is all work areas are to be kept properly ventilated. So again, ventilation is also very important. So ventilation is simply we say proper circulation of air. If the workplace is suffocating, then it is never possible that the worker can perform his activity with full accuracy, and thus there are chances that certain accidents can happen. So it is important that proper ventilation is available at the workplace where the workers are performing their task. The next safety norm is all areas of the factory are to be kept clean and well organized. Each industry should give a great importance for the cleanliness of the entire departments or the entire industry, as we know that if the area is kept clean, then it means that a proper or good hygiene can be maintained, and thus the workers can remain healthy. The next safety norm is anyone working in the factory under the influence of drugs or alcohol will be immediately terminated. So if the employees are having such kind of habits, these are definitely going to lead certain kind of accidents, and this will also affect the reputation of the company. So it is necessary that strict actions are taken against such kind of workers. Then the next point, all equipments and machinery is to be shut down when not in use. So each worker should have this habit that whenever the certain equipments or machines, if they are not necessary, then they should be shut down, because unknowingly if some of the workers gets in direct contact with the moving machines, then it can cause accidents, and thus it is better to shut those machines if they are not in use. Now next point is all machinery is to have the manufacturers install safety guards. So again this point can be related with the previous ones. If the machines are having sharp moving parts, then proper safety guards are available for such kind of machines, or we call it as fencing. So what do you mean by fencing? Whenever the machine is having sharp parts, then a certain kind of safety guards are provided for that, so that the worker will not get in direct contact with those sharp parts. So we call it as fencing, which helps for the safety of the worker, or this fencing avoids the direct contact of worker with that part. So this will again reduce the accident. The last point is no machinery is to be modified by any employee who is not specifically trained in the technical aspects of the machinery. Many times in the industry, there are certain situations where there is a huge workload, and in such situations, if any of the machines fails to perform its function, then at that time, due to heavy work which is to be completed in minimum time, or to get the target completed, most of the workers try to open that machine and try to get rid of the problem. But if the worker is not having any specific knowledge or the technical knowledge related with that machine, and still if the worker tries to repair that machine, then again it can cause certain accident. So such kind of practice should be totally avoided. And these are all the general safety norms related with the industrial unit. Now also one more point related with fire extinguisher, which I am supposed to tell you, because this might be asked in the paper for the MCQ. You should know what are the different types of fire extinguisher. Okay, so in industries, special training has been given to the workers, or they are informed that what type of fire extinguishers they are supposed to use depending on the situation. That is whether the fire has caused due to burning of some kind of fuel, or the fire has been taken place due to short circuit. So depending on that situation, what kind of fire extinguishers you should use, proper knowledge regarding this is very important. So we will just discuss that point and then we will conclude with this chapter. So if the fire has been caused due to burning of fuels such as wood or paper or textile, then in such situations we can observe in the first row that we are having about 5 fire type extinguishers. So you should know that out of these 5, which one fire extinguisher we can use. So for wood or paper and textile cause of burning, we can use water or the foam spray, then again powder type of fire extinguisher, or we can use wet chemical. But here it is important to note that from this chart you should understand that we should not use carbon dioxide type of fire extinguisher. So depending on this chart, you should know that what is the cause of that fire and what type of fire extinguisher you should use. Now again you can see the second example where they have given that if the cause of fire is flammable liquids, and we call this as B type. Okay, so you should also remember these names which are given. That is A type of fire. It means that that fire is caused due to the burning of wood or paper. Then again, if the fire has been caused due to liquid or flammable liquids, then we consider that as type B. Then again, if the fire has been caused due to flammable gases, then we consider that as type C. And if the fire is caused due to oils, then we consider that as F type. Then accordingly we should refer to this chart, and we should understand that what type of fire extinguisher we should use. So for B type of fire, we can see that we cannot use water, then again we cannot use the wet chemical for taking control over that fire. Then preference should be given for the foam spray or powder type, as well as carbon dioxide type of fire extinguishers. Again, if we consider if the fire is caused due to electrical reasons, then again in such case we should never use water for taking control over that fire. So if the electricity is the cause of that fire, then in such situation powder type or CO2 type of fire extinguishers should be preferred. So this was related with the fire extinguishers and the last point from this chapter. So with this I conclude the end of this chapter, and in the next lecture we will see few important MCQs from this chapter, so that this will help you out for the final online exams for this subject. So for now, thank you very much.